And that was without even a single drop of rum.
This, my friend, is a pirate. Why don't you just blow up the storm over the drink with it? It comes in paints? I can get you one. You've had all half already!
Good night and party on!
Party on, Wayne!
Party on, Garth.
All right, are we on? Microphone is not muted. Camera's working. All right, I think we're live. I think we're here. What's up, guys? I am testing out a new camera that I literally just set up right now because, of course, I can tell that I'm not muted. Thanks, buddy, though. I ordered a new camera yesterday, and it arrived just in time for me to rush home and set it up, and I hope that it works. Looks better, looks a little more clear. I can now zoom in, do all sorts of weird stuff with it. There was one where maybe it was this one. Mirror, there we go, upside down and backwards. Yeah, all sorts of new gadgets and whatnot to mess around with. So I was starting to suspect that I think the camera that I was using, it was the first webcam I bought when I started this journey some years ago, and I started thinking back, and I was like, you know what? I think it's probably not even 1080p. Because when I first signed up for StreamYard, the lower level plan, so I was paying for it, but I was paying for more of like kind of the baseline plan. You could only project in, I think, 720p. So I was like, well, I don't need the super high def quality camera, and I just got kind of the, whatever. As things progressed, and now I've got my green screen and everything. See, so if I zoom out, you can see the edges there over here. So once I started using the green screen, I was like, man, I gotta be right up against my desk. I can't back up. I can't move anything. So I thought, well, maybe it's time to get a new camera where I can zoom in. I can push the green screen back a little bit, and I can get just a little bit of breathing room. And overall, it seems to look quite a bit clearer. You're not wrong. I didn't mean ouch. Come on, I'm not going to argue with that one. He's not wrong. But yeah, so new camera. I hope it holds up. I hope it works, because I am known for technical difficulties. Sometimes I feel like I should just change the name of my show or my channel to Last Minute Chaos, or just technical difficulties, whichever works. But here we are. I've got my beer, and this is because when I was at the liquor store getting my beer, I think yesterday or the day before, I'm like, you know what? I'm all out of whiskey. And they had it on the shelf, so I grabbed another bottle of, this isn't the first time I've grabbed it, but another bottle of the Traveler whiskey, Buffalo Trace collab with Mr. Chris Stapleton. So I'm going to pour just a full swig of this one, because work sucks, but I'm home. We're hanging out, so let's get just a little bit of this here. All right. How's everybody doing? How's your Wednesday treating you so far? Actually, I know Lady Marine and Salmon Outdoors, you guys are in a different time zone, so you're even farther ahead in your Wednesday than I am. But yeah, always good to have you guys here. Always good to see you. I'm not frozen solid. Well, that is always a good start, but that's usually an issue with my Wi-Fi. But now that I've got my whiskey, it looks kind of weird when I go up towards the top of the, maybe I'm just thinking something weird. I don't know. Work has been killing me mentally, and that's never a good thing. It's not good for anyone. That Yes, can always see you all the time, Devin. It wasn't that cold. I mean, it was in the 30s, but it sucks when you're in a machine shop handling cold metal parts and it's cold outside also and inside. But also I have been known to freeze during my streams, but that's a Wi-Fi issue. Hey, Jacob, how you doing, buddy? Fair to Midland. So interesting enough, I know that is like a saying, I guess, out of the Texas area. But funny enough, that is actually the name of one of my absolute favorite bands that unfortunately did not stick around for very long, who is from Texas. They'd put out a couple of self-released albums, but there are only 2 albums that got released on major labels that I own that I was able to get my hands on. They only put out 2 albums, and they were very creative, very strange, very interesting. I actually did a video on them quite a while ago. My band you've probably never heard of segment that I need to resurrect. I need to do more of those. But yeah, great band, but I know that's also sort of a phrase from your neck of the woods. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Did your sound change or was it my earbuds? I hope my sound didn't change. Let me double check here. I'm still on this microphone because that was the other thing is the camera, the new camera that I got says it has a microphone too. So now I got to make sure I go into my settings and make sure everything is okay. My microphone is this. Got my earbud. One time my earbud connected as my microphone. That was a whole other nightmare. Yeah, fun stuff. Hopefully there's no technical difficulties yet. Sounds the same to me. Thanks, buddy. That would have been the perfect time to troll me, by the way, but you didn't, and I appreciate you. So yeah, didn't really have a ton of topics to talk about today. I guess Mumford & Sons announced their new album, and we can talk a little bit about that. I've really been out on those guys since they kind of sold Winston to the Wolves. Their banjoist, if you will. They kind of threw him to the wolves when he expressed an unpopular opinion and the internet came after him. He chose to quit the band, but I feel like the other guys in Mumford didn't really have his back. Like they didn't come out to his defense and be like, hey guys, everybody calm down, you know, we're all entitled to our different opinions, whatever. Like Winston Marshall quit because of the backlash and the whatever, and the other 3 guys were just sort of like, cool, see ya. So this is their first album without him, and I haven't even, I think they put out a song or a video, or they put something out. I haven't even listened to it. I really have no interest anymore. Their last album that I guess came out like 7 years ago wasn't really great anyways, and now they don't have Winston, so I'm just I don't know, but we could talk about it at some point. But over the weekend, maybe that was the troll. The troll was not trolling, but me thinking that you're not trolling me when really my audio sounds all messed up. I'm on to you. On to you, Devin. So, over the weekend, I got the super fun opportunity to see a couple of longtime local San Diego bands in a bit of a more intimate setting. It was announced about maybe 3 weeks ago or so that P.O.D, who, you know, San Diego homies, P.O.D was going to do an incredibly small show at a venue that was going to, I think, only be able to house around 300 to 400 people. And they were going to bring along longtime favorites Dogwood and NIV. This stands for No Innocent Victim. All old San Diego bands. Dogwood and NIV aren't really so much active anymore, but they're friends with P.O.D, and they thought, hey, you know, we want to do this benefit show. Sonny Sandoval, the lead singer of P.O.D, has this foundation called Sonny Sandoval's Youth of the Nation Foundation. He's super involved with like the YMCA and other stuff in kind of the neighborhood where he grew up, and just trying to, you know, put money into stuff that can, you know, help kids in that neighborhood in that area. And originally the benefit show was going to be for that. It was going to be one of those things where super limited capacity, get there early, wait in line, suggested $20 donation at the door. They said like it's free, but suggested donation, whatever. Then obviously all the stuff in LA started happening, and they decided we need to move this to a bigger venue, and then all of the donation money they brought in was going to go to help the people who were basically losing everything in the Palisades fire in Los Angeles. So they moved it to the San Diego Harley Davidson, which is here we go, pretty big space. They set it up out in the parking lot, but yeah, they just kind of in a matter of 2 days they changed the venue, threw down a little stage, and then obviously everything over here off to the right is the actual Harley Davidson dealership, and that warehouse goes down for quite a bit. But they just made it so more people could come, and it actually it kind of fascinated me while I was waiting in line, because bands were still sound checking, so they let everyone in a bit late. But I'm standing in line waiting to get into this thing, and I can hear people standing behind me in the line asking their friends, like, so the show is free, right? Like it's free to get in, right? And I just I kind of wanted to turn around and be like, bro, like, okay, yes, technically the show is free, but it's like this is a benefit. Like they are trying to raise money to help people who are like literally losing their homes and like everything. They're literally losing everything, but people are gonna people. So this was the first band, NIV, No Innocent Victim. They're very much a I'd say kind of hate breed style, just straightforward, loud, fast, old school hardcore. um Lead vocalist kind of has a bit of a Phil Anselmo thing going on. I'm not entirely sure what that tattoo was on the side of his head, but uh yeah, they were fun. But if I'm being totally honest, every song starts to sound the same after a little while. So that was them again. If I don't know if I remember to share audio on this. Tell me if you guys can hear this when it starts playing. You got the spinning wheel of death. Not good. I can't even hear that. What is going on here? All right, let's unshare. Let's reshare. Share audio. Share. I don't hear anything. Can you guys hear that? I can't hear it. Probably just like blowing your eardrums out right now. I can't hear nothing. Huh. It's really weird. Double check my settings on my end. Yep, I can hear out of that earbud on this computer, but not on this monitor. That's fun. Let's see. Anybody? Can you guys hear it? All right. Well, anyway, let's yep. Go back. You can hear it. Okay, so then something's just wrong with me. Well, there's a lot of things wrong with me, but why can I not hear the audio from my other screen? Come on, StreamYard, you're not okay, window, entire screen. Let's try this. Maybe if I do this. Sorry, guys. I was trying to manage the volume when I do put something up, but I couldn't hear anything. So I'm just like, I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't know if I can hear it, but yeah, that band is definitely, it's they're a bit more, it's a little bit of a tougher crowd. Those guys. But man, it brings back memories of me being in like junior high and high school and going to shows and being about, I mean, I'm like 5'9" now, so I figure I was probably around that height, a little bit under in junior high and high school, but it was always around like probably 120 pounds soaking wet, and I'd be in there running around the mosh pit with all these bigger guys, and they're always cool. If somebody tripped or got knocked down or fell down, like people would always come and pick you up and help you up. Like people were always cool at the shows. But yeah, that was my youth. Let me see if I can figure out. If I do entire screen, share audio. Let's try this one more time. Still nothing. All right, cool. Super cool. I can't hear anything coming from my other monitor. That usually does not happen. I have not had this problem before, so I don't know what is going on. Here, settings, gaming, working, watching videos. Oh, I was more worried about the camera, and now something that I do on every show every week isn't working, so that's weird. I'm using OBS. I don't know what that is. I don't even know what you're asking. Boomer moment, right? All right. You tried disconnecting that monitor and reconnecting. I had issues with my earbuds, which is another thing that I almost always have issues with. Stuff just doesn't want to connect when I'm trying to get started. Oh, now all my tabs are going to shift over here real quick. Maybe not. Might have just lost all my tabs. That's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. It's like the dog in the burning house. This is fine. But this is part of why these streams are fun, because I sit here by myself and figure out all the technical stuff so that things hopefully don't go as wrong on Mondays. Bottom right hand corner, see what your output settings, or try another tab and see if YouTube has audio. I mean, yeah, on my laptop it says I'm connected to my earbuds, but then when I connect like the other monitor and I drag a lot of my tabs over there, sometimes that gets wonky. It's yeah, it's dumb. But let's see, where is my other window? Okay, everything's still there, so that's a good sign. Let's drag all of this back over here. And let's try again. See, you think I'm doing something the easy way. My other monitor is actually like an all-in-one touchscreen computer that's kind of old and worthless, and connecting it with an HDMI cable did not work, so I connect wirelessly through my Wi-Fi. So it's just one more thing that can always go wrong. Especially when I start this thing up and it's like, oh, there's an update processing, and I'm like, I don't need you to update. I just need you to be a monitor. Yeah, it's gotta make everything as difficult as possible, but it makes it fun, right? Let's try this one more time. If it doesn't work this time, then I just don't really care. This is supposed to be just sort of like a non-topic, but still got nothing. All right, cool. Well, let's continue, because over here I don't have any audio settings on this screen. What more video is that going to be a picture? Let's leave it on a picture for now. Nope, don't want to do that. I don't know what I just did. Okay, let's get rid of that. Over here, settings. Oh, now settings opened up on that screen. There we go. Thanks for hanging in there with me, everybody. I know this is super fun watching me try to figure out how to use my computer. All right, second monitor is connected. I don't know why this one time it's not cooperating, but here we are. Doesn't matter, it's fine. The singer from Dogwood joining said band NIB. for a song. And then here we get into Dogwood. Lots of memories seeing these guys when I was a kid. They're not exactly super active anymore. I think they all live in different states. Drummer became a firefighter, moved his family out of state, but I think he still comes here for shifts every once in a while. So it's like he comes out and like works a couple days and then goes back home to his family. I think the bass player got into real estate or something. Guitar player over here, not sure what he's doing. Singer's the only one that still lives here in San Diego. Now apparently he is a well-known chef in town. Go figure. Who would have thought? And so yeah, crowd's starting to fill up a little bit. This was me lurking and I'm pretty sure that was the drummer for As They Lay Dying, who is no longer the drummer for As They Lay Dying, because as we have talked about over recent months, over the last couple years, and even over the last couple months, the entire band quit. But up until about a year or two ago, pretty sure this guy was the drummer for As They Lay Dying. Here he is just hanging out at the show, and I was being a creeper, sneaking a picture of him. Yeah, that happened. That's going to be another video that I can't hear. And here we are with P.O.D. I can't hear it, so I have no idea what song it is. But I wonder... This is probably going to be a really stupid idea, but let's see if I pull it over here. Stop screen, present screen. Let's do this and see if I can hear it, because I don't need to see my StreamYard screen necessarily. Still can't hear it. Okay, so I pulled it over onto my laptop and I still can't hear it. So my computer just hates me today. It's always fun. Yeah, no idea what song this is because I can't hear it. I guess you guys can, so good for you. Oh, this is my very tall, very large friend from high school who also has his daughter up on his shoulders wearing matching flannels going into the mosh pit during P.O.D. I mean, there were other people in there with kids too, so everyone was being cool. Everyone was keeping it mellow. But yeah, it was funny. He went in there and he looked at me before he went in. He's like, "Give video of this." Reliving the days of our youth of going to shows, going to punk shows, going to metal shows, getting in the mosh pit, being invincible, and now we went to a show for a couple hours and my back hurts. This I thought was fun. I kept kind of catching videos of this is so the singer from P.O.D, Sonny. This is his youngest son, back there just rocking out, jamming out, just watching his dad do his thing, and I was like, oh, it warms the heart just watching like your youngest is back there just rocking out. You're not wrong, buddy. You're not wrong. Not as ancient as Roman, but still. And then, of course, this one. I'm probably going to do a whole stream on this song in March. We'll get there when we get there, but... Everybody's hands in here, like this. So the whole world can hear you, come on. We are. Youth of the nation. So yeah, I am really bad at taking pictures and videos at shows, just because I really do try to be. I try to be a little more kind of in the moment, and just experience the show and just be there. But that was a pretty cool thing, being able to see these bands in a smaller, more intimate setting again. So the short version, which, like I said, on funny enough, the anniversary of what I'm about to talk about, March 5th, 2001, happens to fall on a Wednesday this year. So I will do a Wednesday live stream about this in March. But the short version is that P.O.D song, Youth of the Nation, was inspired by the shooting at my high school. On March 5th, 2001, Andy Williams came to school with a gun, started in the boys' bathroom, shot and killed a childhood friend of mine, and then went out and continued to just open fire at will. It was a smaller caliber gun. So 2 students died, about 13 others were wounded. Could have been a lot worse, but that's basically what happened there. And at the same time that this was happening, P.O.D, who is from San Diego, they were in a rehearsal studio just a couple miles down the road, writing and rehearsing for what would become their big major label breakout album, Satellite. And there's a couple different versions of the story. The first one that I had heard that I always adhered to was that they were at a taco shop right across the street from my high school, like getting breakfast burritos before heading to the studio. And then they saw all the commotion and everything going on at the high school. Other stuff that I read said that they were on their way to the studio and they were seeing cop cars flying by and helicopters flying overhead and stuff. When they got to the rehearsal studio and somebody at the studio was watching the news and they saw what was happening. And then they just got into the studio and started rehearsing, and the song Youth of the Nation was born. So each verse kind of goes through different scenarios and different issues that people have, but the very first verse, it talks about a school shooting. And so that was inspired by my high school, and I still have a hard time listening to that song without getting a little teary-eyed. And my friend Kyle that I was at the show with, same thing, he and I, we went to high school together, we're in the same graduating class, and they play the song and I'm just kind of standing there, and it's the good thing about these glasses now is I got the ones where, like, when you go outside in the sunlight, they auto darken, so I don't have to carry around sunglasses and stuff. So usually I can't really tell on my end. Like, to me, for the most part, everything kind of looks the same, but if I take them off and look, it's like, oh, my lenses like totally went dark. So I never really know if people can actually see my eyes or not, but I'm standing there thinking I'm kind of keeping it together. I got a couple tears going and stuff, and like right before the first chorus, my buddy he's like, "You doing all right?" And I kind of looked at him and I was like, "Oh shit, he can tell." Like, but yeah, I'm gonna do a whole stream about that on March 5th because that will be the 24th anniversary. But yeah, just talking about that song and just kind of everything that happened. And it's weird. You would think after all these years that it wouldn't hit as hard, but it still does. Even to this day, if I'm like at work and the song shuffles on Spotify, it still hits. So it's not necessarily like about it, but that is the event that inspired the writing of the whole song. Yeah. Yes, they are. I was trying to avoid using that exact terminology, but yes, Devin. On to happier topics, though. On to happier topics. So this one, because this won't really take a whole lot of time, this will be just sort of a quick mention. Coheed and Cambria have announced a summer tour, and they're actually coming to San Diego. I can't tell you how many times, like, you would be amazed living in a major city how many bands skip over San Diego and will like only play LA. And like, LA sucks. Nobody wants to go to LA. Yeah, lots of bands skip over San Diego for whatever reason. And even other times they'll go to surrounding areas like Irvine and Anaheim and stuff where it's still like an hour and a half away. It's like San Diego, come on, like San Diego, LA, the 2 major cities in Southern California. Show some love. So Coheed and Cambria have a new album coming this March, which, yes, I have already pre-ordered the premiere deluxe holy shit special edition box set that comes with all sorts of new stuff I don't need or don't have space for. And they've announced a tour. Coming here and playing with Mastodon. So I saw those tour dates. That tour is not coming here. I would probably actually rather see Mastodon. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Mastodon, but this tour where they're coming to San Diego is with Taking Back Sunday. So if I had to pick, I would rather see Mastodon over Taking Back Sunday. But The good thing is that this is in downtown San Diego, so I can just go down there and find other stuff to do, skip the opening bands. It's general admission, so you just kind of get in where you fit in. Yeah, so should be fun. Bought a ticket, party of one, because I don't really know anyone else that likes Coheed and Cambria that lives here except old Maxfield von Priestley, but he lives about an hour and a half away or so, and it's a Monday night, and we all got to work and we all got responsibilities, so I don't imagine he's going to want to drive down here and drive back up. And also 2 days later, after the San Diego date, they're playing in LA, which might be a little bit of a shorter drive for him. I don't really want to drive to LA on a Wednesday, so but yeah, check out the tour dates coming up here at Coheed and Cambria with Taking Back Sunday and special guest Foxing, which I've never heard of. I'm not going to read off all the states and cities. You guys can go check that out. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. Bought a ticket today and super stoked. They are one of my favorite bands that I have seen many, many, many times over. Yeah, that'd be a long drive back home after the concert, Maddie. It's yeah. Get out of the concert about 10:30, 11 o'clock or so, and you got a hoof at home. That'd take a bit. That would take quite a bit. Let's where the hell? I already kind of mentioned it. Let's talk a little bit about Mumford and Bitches, who let their banjo player just they just threw him to the wolves. This will be their first album in 7 years. And of course, now my computer is not cooperating. What's new? Entire screen. Here we go. Let's try this again. Oh, come on, computer, work with me. Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. My Wi-Fi cutting out. What's happening here? Somebody in my apartment complex has their Wi-Fi name set as "You come into my party." Leave my Wi-Fi out of this. All right, we're off to a good start here. Well, not a good start, but a midway point. Stop the screen. You probably want to get that checked out by a doctor. Yeah, see, again, it's a bit of a drive. I understand it's a bit of a drive. But hey, Jacob, you should come on out to the big Nerdrotic Geeks and Gamers meetup in Vegas. That's usually, it's probably the first or second week of April. I know Shield Wall came out last year. I think he comes from the great state of Texas as well. I do think he drove. I don't like long road trips. I can't do it. Okay, so let's try this. Maybe my Google search needs to be refreshed. Or maybe we're just not going to talk about Mumford and Sons. Maybe that's what's happening here. Let's do this. New album. I don't know why my browser just switched from dark mode to light, but all right. Let's try again. And now, nope, still spinning Wheel of Death. Well, looks like we're going to have to talk about Creed. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Who's the idiot? Mumford? Yeah, Mumford and Sons are idiots. These guys suck. Damn Seriously, like, is just my Wi-Fi dying? I mean, it doesn't seem like my stream is cutting out. Mumford and Sons suck. No. I just don't understand why like articles aren't pulling up. Okay, we got something. It's not the one that I was hoping for. Quite a bit shorter. Okay, yeah, we can talk about this. This will kill a couple minutes. Oh, the halftime show, the greatest halftime show ever. All right, we're getting somewhere. That's another one. That Creed is coming to San Diego in August. And that's another one. I might just have to bite the bullet and just buy a ticket just because I'm fairly confident there will be plenty of other people around me singing just as enthusiastically. And we might all just become best friends that night just by, singing One Last Breath together and Higher. And well, I would say even the guys in Creed admit that With Arms Wide Open was pretty lame all these years later. So at least they can say that much was maybe not a mistake because it was a huge radio hit, but that it was maybe a little on the nose. All right, Mumford and Sons announced Rushmere, which will be their first album as a trio. More than pretty lame. Are we talking about Mumford or Creed? Don't you dare talk about Creed like that. All right, first album as a trio. Okay, here's a video. We might have to watch the video. It's an album trailer. I have not even... Oh! Oh! Oh!
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Oh, how dare you? I thought we were friends. So Marcus Mumford released his debut solo album in 2022. Now it's time for him to reunite with his sons. Today, January 15th, Mumford and Sons announced they have a new album, Rushmere, on the way. The project is set for March 28th. The first single is scheduled to be released this week. Okay, so the full single has not been released yet.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Why do you want to hurt me? Why must you hurt me like this? Oh, so you're on Devin's side with Nickelback? Is that what I'm gathering from this? Are you a closet Nickelback fan, Steph? Come on, you can come clean here. This is a safe space. I'll only make fun of you a little bit. So the first single will be released in about 2 days. The band's recent collaboration with Pharrell, Good People, does not appear on the track list. Not that I was even aware that existed, but okay. Only the live version, not the radio version. Notably, this will be the band's first album as a trio. Winston Marshall left the group in 2021, explaining in part, quote, "I failed to foresee that my commenting on a book critical of the far left could be interpreted as approval of the equally abhorrent far right." You also have to remember, too, these guys are British. Their perceptives of far left and far right are a little bit different. He might actually be talking about American politics. I think he might live here now. I'm not really sure, but it's like you still have to kind of put things in the lens of like people from other countries when they describe far left and far right can be a little different. Oh, Jacob, why do you hurt me? Nickelback sucks, yes, but okay, it's fine. It's fine. We can all have our opinions. It's fine. I don't think I have any more funny clips to play though. I don't know. I'm running out of funny video clips. For me to speak about, so Winston continued on in his quote saying, for me to speak about what I've learnt to be such a controversial issue will inevitably bring my bandmates more trouble. I could remain and continue to self-censor, but it would erode my sense of integrity. The only way forward is for me to leave the band. I hope in distancing myself from them, I'm able to speak my mind without them suffering the consequences, to which he has started his own podcast and continues to speak out on things that he thinks are important. Check out the album trailer above and find the Rushmere art and track list below. So here is the artwork. Oh no, Journey is, oh good lord. Jacob, I don't know if we can be friends, man. I hate Journey so much. So here's a fun story. Here's a fun story. I was probably 12 or 13 years old or so. Peter Frampton was coming to town, and my mom was a big fan of Peter Frampton growing up. You know, she had the Frampton Comes Alive vinyl and, you know, the whole thing and stuff. And here in the late 90s, Peter Frampton is coming to San Diego, and my grandma was like babysitting. She was like, had like a regular babysitting gig for some high up somebody, something that like worked at the venue where the show is going to be. And she kind of threw it out there and mentioned it all the time, like, oh, anytime if there's a concert you guys want to go to, let me know, whatever. And my mom sees this, she's like, oh, Peter Frampton's coming and playing at this venue, can you get us tickets? So okay, so we went. Peter Frampton was not the headliner. Journey was the headliner, and I inherited my hatred for Journey from my parents. So there was an opening band, nobody knew who they were, whatever. And then Peter Frampton, who was amazing. He's going bald, but he still sounded amazing. Voice, his guitar playing, everything. Like, close your eyes, it still sounded like Peter Frampton. It just looked like this kind of old bald guy on stage. And then Journey takes the stage, and we walked out of the show. My aunt, so my mom's sister, who was living in Missouri, was absolutely losing her mind, just going on and on. Oh, I can't believe you guys are going to go see Journey. I can't believe you're going again. And my mom's just like, we're probably going to leave. We don't really like Journey. And she's like, what? How could you possibly do that? And just losing her mind, going crazy. So we went to the show. We saw Peter Frampton. We stuck around. Journey started playing. My mom calls her sister and is like, here you go, and holds the phone up as we're like walking out of the show. So that's one of my favorite concert stories to tell, because when I tell people that we literally walked out on Journey, people look at me like I have a third eye growing out of my forehead. I freaking hate Journey so much. Like, they're just the garbage party music of the 70s. Like, give me Pink Floyd, give me Led Zeppelin, but oh my lord, I hate Journey so much. Their music was such garbage to me. Like, they were like the Nickelback of the 70s, where it's like they were just playing like the catchy party songs. Oh my lord. So there you have it. I saw like half of a song by Journey and we left. So another funny story about that's for those of you that may not be aware, the Big Lebowski quote. In the closing scene and closing credits of The Big Lebowski, and they use a Townes Van Zandt cover of the Rolling Stones song Dead Flowers. When the Coen brothers were putting the movie together and trying to get the soundtrack put together and get all the rights and the licensing to everything and whatnot, the producer who produced the album, the guy who produced the Rolling Stones album that the song Dead Flowers is on, owned the rights to the song. I know it's weird. Like you think like the record label would own the rights, or you would think decades and decades later that the Rolling Stones would have been able to use some pull and go in and purchase the rights to their own music. But this one producer owned the rights to the song Dead Flowers. So even though they were using the Townes Van Zandt cover version in The Big Lebowski, they had to get this one producer to sign off and say, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can, whatever. He wanted some obscene, exorbitant amount of money for them to use it. I forget what the dollar amount was, but it was like way outside of their budget, where they're like, well, that's ridiculous. Like, we can't afford that. We're not going to pay that amount of money to use a song on the soundtrack. So then what they did was they went ahead, they filmed the movie, they did the thing, and they sort of did a rough edit of the film. And then they showed a rough, unfinished edit of the Big Lebowski to this producer. And when he saw the scene where the dude is in the cab and he's like, come on, man, I fucking hate the Eagles, man, the producer stood up and laughed, and he's like, that's fantastic. You can use the song for free. So a little more random music trivia for you, that just like the fact that they threw in the fact like the dude hates the Eagles, the producer was like, that's it, like you could use the song, you don't have to pay for anything. Just like he thought that was so hilarious. Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent to the Eagles. I do play Hotel California at my gigs once in a while. I don't love them, I don't hate them, I'm just sort of like, meh, whatever. Most music from back then. More of a metal girl, though. Yeah. So there's the cover artwork for the new Mumford and Commies album. I wonder if this guy over here is covering his face going, I miss Winston on the banjo, but we let him quit and we didn't have his back. Probably not, though. Track listing is as such: Malibu, Caroline, Rushmere, Monochrome, Truth, Where It Belongs, Anchor, Surrender, Blood on the Page featuring Madison Cunningham, I have no idea who that is, and Carrie O. I would be very interested to actually listen to this album when it comes out to see if whether the album title or any of the songs are politically driven, because again, Winston was like, I'm going to remove myself from the situation so that they don't get all the backlash for my opinions. And it would just be like such a kick in the pants if they come out and release like a politically charged album. And it's like, okay, so we see where you guys are at. It will be out March 28th via Island Records, Glassnote Records. Find more information here. No, thank you. All right. Let's talk about Creed. Everybody loves talking about Creed, right, Steph? Mostly because as I was scouring the internet for topics today, I didn't have a lot to choose from. I came up with some other stuff as we've now killed 48 minutes. But no, it was Andy Ngo, like NGO BINGO, but yeah. But it was the let me see if I can find it real quick. That's fair. So my parents hate country music, but I think the reason why I did not like country music for a long time is because when I was coming up, the late 80s and early 90s, that style of country was all the rage. I still cannot stand Garth Brooks. I feel like Garth Brooks is part of the problem. I feel like Garth Brooks is one of the first really big name artists to do the whole crossover of, rock and country and pop and stuff. But it's like, I love the old school Willie, Waylon, Merle, all that stuff. But in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't great. We got some guys now like Tyler Childers and Coulter Wall, some guys that are kind of bringing it back. But I am one that I do not have a nostalgia for the 90s country. I think that shit was so cheesy. It was so bad. I can't. Yeah. Johnny, Dolly, Loretta. Yeah. The good stuff. The outlaw country, real country. Stuff in the 80s and 90s, I can't do it. It was not great. But a lot of people my age That was like their thing, man. I did not like country music for a very long time because my parents didn't listen to it, with the exception of maybe like some Johnny Cash here and there. And then, yeah, like I said, when I was coming up and all the 90s country was all the rage, I was like, nah, this shit's cheesy. I can't get into this. It all sounds the same. Old school 80s, 90s country rock. Well, you also like Nickelback, so we're gonna take your opinion with a big, giant like piece of rock salt, grain of salt. But at least we can all agree on that like Luke Bryan and all those turds all suck. Okay, so Andy, what was the name of his book though that was like the big controversial God, man, I'm like going down a rabbit hole. You might fully distract me from ever saying anything about Creed now if we keep going down this rabbit hole. What was the name of the book? There we go. Let's see what we got here. I would say there are some terms in this title that are probably going to get my channel shadow banned, but I'm fairly confident I'm already there. So let's just pull the ripcord and go. This was the book that Winston Marshall tweeted about being a really good read. Unmasked Inside Antifa's Radical Plan to Destroy Democracy. And somehow people took issue with that. Somehow people thought that a book pointing out how the Antifa people are nuts or just a bunch of opportunists. They took issue with Winston Marshall tweeting that this was a really good book. So like I said, he willingly quit the band, but I feel like the guys in the band were just sort of like, all right, sounds good. See ya. Like nobody came out and were like, hey, everybody, let's all calm down. Everyone can have their opinions. Everyone, they were just sort of like, all right, don't let the door hit you on the ass. I saw some tweets and some other shit recently. People complain, oh yeah, Mumford's coming out with a new album. Too bad Winston's gone. And people were like, oh, Marcus begged him to stay. And like, I have not read that anywhere. He left the band 4 years ago. I have not once ever read anything that said anyone in the band was begging him to stay. It's like he willingly left. They gave a very passive Instagram post, which is now gone, and turned off the comments, which to me, I think is the most cowardly thing you can possibly do on social media. Like if you're going to put something out there, especially if you're going to put something out there that you know is going to be controversial, you should not be allowed to turn the comments off. You need to accept the backlash for what you're putting out there. Book defending democracy isn't okay. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Devin knows a thing or two about a thing or two living in Canada. Well, I don't necessarily have time for a whole other topic, but it's also a couple minutes early. So I don't know. We can just sit here and bullshit for the next couple minutes. Or I could still find a way to talk about Creed for a few minutes just to piss everybody off. Or even more fun, because we already talked about this, we'll just pull up that Creed halftime show. Oh, but being on the topic of music, it's kind of weird. Like when you go across different platforms, when I'm on my computer versus when I'm on my phone versus when I turn on my TV and stuff. Yesterday I fire up my TV. Same thing. I've got my Google TV, whatever is like my smart plug-in thing for all my streaming stuff. It suggested a live Guns N' Roses video from their show here in San Diego last summer. And It was one of their lesser known songs, not one of their bigger hits. So I was kind of like, whatever. I'm not really that curious about that one. But I was like, well, now I'm curious. I'm gonna go search. Like I think I did Welcome to the Jungle, but from the same venue, same show here in San Diego. Holy moly, Axl Rose sounds terrible. He looks terrible and he sounds terrible. Axl Rose looks like Mama Fratello from the Goonies, and he sounds absolutely terrible. I don't know how they're still selling tickets to shows other than the fact that people just really want to see Slash back in the lineup playing all the classic songs, the Welcome to the Jungle, the Mr. Brownstone, you know, all the guitar riffs, all the guitar solos, all the stuff that Slash was made famous for. But oh my goodness, does Axl Rose sound terrible? He just oof. It was bad. You know, maybe we'll just do that just because I got a couple minutes to kill. Let's pull up one of those videos I just watched yesterday and see just how bad it really was. That's my channel. Where's the videos I just watched? I'll just go back and search. Guns N' Roses. Snapdragon. I feel like I just lost everybody. Where'd everybody go? Don't Cry. Nobody cares about that. Civil War. Nah. Estranged. Rocket Queen. There. Oh, I am not going to tell the story of that one, but there's a really disturbing story behind the song Rocket Queen. I have a hard time listening to that song, knowing how. Oof. You want to know why the Guns N' Roses song Rocket Queen disturbs me? You can DM me and ask me later. I'm not going to talk about it here because it's like mental imagery that I just can't scrub from my brain. Okay, apparently I need to be more specific. Let's go. Search. I feel like I found a video last night that was much more up close and Guns N' Roses Rumble, Welcome to the Jungle, San Diego Snapdragon. All right, let's try this. Again, I'm probably not going to be able to hear it. Nope, can't hear a damn thing. But I won't play much of it just because I don't want you guys' eardrums to bleed. But also because I cannot hear it. I don't know why. I'm going to have to skip a bit.
There we go.
Skip a bit more. Can you guys hear it? I just hear. I cannot hear anything. Tell me how bad it is. Slash is still amazing. Dude can still play. He's looking a little old. Duff over there is looking pretty rough. Ha! Duff is looking rough. The Axl Rose sounds absolutely awful. Ooh, careful. You might break a hip there, Slash. And he like, and even there, like every once in a while, he's like still trying to kind of do the old dance moves, and it's like, no, bro, you need to stop. Let's see if I can find some of these funny memes before we run out of time. So some of these memes here where he is like really overweight, he has lost weight since some of these. Okay, this is a funny one. Now we're just picking on the guy. Mickey Rourke and Axl Rose look like a lesbian couple who own an antique shop in Portland. I think, like, for the most part, I think Slash is still probably in, you know, decent enough shape, but still, I mean, these guys are all probably what in like their 50s, early 60s. It's like you got to be careful now. You could twist an ankle, you could, you know, but where there's another one though. There it is. That's the one I was looking for. 33 years since the Goonies hit theaters and Axl Rose still looks the same. Oh, it's too good. It's funny, but it's kind of true and scary. Oh boy. Well, that was fun. So you guys managed to distract me from talking about Creed. Congratulations. Good job. We talked about Coheed. We somehow got on the topic of Guns N' Roses. MegaCon Orlando. Interesting. But the really important question, will Gina Carano be there? Because that will make me fly out there. Actually, I don't know. Sometimes she does conventions closer. Like she does stuff in like Denver. Guess I could try to go to some of those. But I don't know. I'm sure if there's a con going on in Orlando, there'd probably be a Geeks and Gamers meetup that would coincide with that. That could also be fun. But that I think would become one of my top priorities is figure out a con where Gina Carano will be and finally meet her. Well, shit. Okay, well, you just popped my balloon. But someday. Well, I think we're just about out of time here. And like I said, I'll spare you guys the Creed topics. It wasn't really anything all that spectacular, but it was one of the first things I came up with because I just I'm always picking my topics super last minute. I never really know what I'm doing until I hit live, and I usually don't know what I'm doing even after I hit live. But my biggest concern was the new camera, which seems like it held up. When I first got on here and first started it up, it looked like it was glitching out and like weird lines were popping up in the bottom of the screen, but I did a reboot on the laptop, seemed to work out. Hey, Max Webster, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, you're right here at the end, but always good to see you. Thanks for being here. And you have a good night as well, sir. Great friends with Jay. Oh, shut up, Devin. Yeah, luckily the new camera works. It definitely looks more clean, clear, crisp. I like being able to zoom way in so I can put my green screen farther behind me and not have to be right up against my desk. I have a little bit more freedom and movement and leeway here. Yeah. Seems like everything worked out other than other than me not being able to hear the screens that I was sharing. I feel like this was a fairly technical difficulty free stream, which is really rare for me. Don't get used to it, guys. I'm sure something's going to go horribly wrong on Monday. It always does. But sometimes it's more fun with the panel members where it's like everything's going sideways, but I've got other people to keep the conversation going while I'm figuring out dumb shit behind the scenes. Anyways, all that being said, thank you all so much for hanging out. We got Lady Marine, we got Salmon Outdoors, we got Max Webster, we got Jacob Ironside. Thank you guys for being here hanging out. I don't have any gigs for a couple weeks, so no gig streams this weekend, not until February, unless something comes up last minute, which sometimes they do. But until then, I'll be back on Monday with my usual cast of weirdos for Late to the Party news. We'll figure out what sort of fun topics we want to talk about on Monday. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Words are hard. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you all on Monday. Make sure I pick the right outro video here. Yeah, see you guys all on Monday. And yeah, have a great week. See ya.